Gather round, children, gather round. It's story time with Jess, the little writer. In case you didn't know, that's me. Don't sleep if the leaves fall. Should you sleep if the leaves fall? You can as long as your name isn't on the vengeance list. When the leaves fall at the green top castles, bad things happen. The leaves only fall at night when the sky is dark. If your name is on the vengeance list, you should stay awake, if you can. The green top castles are fancy tree houses that serve as a hotel. You can book a tree house and reconnect with nature. At least that's what the flyers say. The flyers don't mention the horrific deaths. They don't say how many men, women, boys, and girls were impaled or hanged. Nobody would tell you how many jumped from the roofs or drowned themselves in the tubs. They were on the vengeance list, so they should have stayed awake. Of course, they couldn't. Not too long ago, Joel Reese, age 9, climbed to the roof of the treehouse that his parents rented. He jumped and landed on his head. Before him, Denise Avery was stabbed through the heart by a tree branch. Nobody saw it happen. Nobody ever does. How does this happen? Magic, that's how. The witches cursed the ground that the trees grew from. This curse spread from the ground into the trees, up from the roots to the branches and to the leaves. The leaves fall at midnight. Then they go on the hunt, from house to house and room to room. The leaves found Joel and Denise and so many others. The leaves find them while they are asleep. The leaves catch fire, then turn to ash. At midnight around the green top castles, ash from cursed leaves go in the target's nose, mouth, or ears. That's what happened to Denise and to Joel. He was still asleep, forced by cursed leaves to jump from the roof. There was no mess to clean up. The blood and bits of brain that came out were absorbed into the ground. More leaves repaired the crack in his head and his broken neck. More leaf ash went into his nose and ears. It made him walk back to his room, where his mother and father found him the next morning. Denise had tried to stay awake. She really did. The mystery of the green top castles was not a mystery to her. She knew that something was terribly wrong, but she fell asleep sitting on the floor, head on the edge of her bed. 3 leaves slid into her room under the door. They stayed nice and flat and slid across the bare wood floor. The leaves caught fire and burned to ash. The tiny piles of ash blew up and up, right into Denise's nose. She was still asleep when her body was walked to the bathroom. The leaf ash forced Denise to open the window. Then a large branch shot through the open window and right into her chest. Denise was there alone. Her room was cleaned and her body sent back to her family. Why them, though? Is it because Joel and Denise were asleep when the leaves fell? Is it because of the ground that the witches cursed? It's because the witches had enemies. Witch hunters drove the witches nearly to extinction, while the hunters flourished. For every one witch, there were thousands of hunters. That was their plan all along. The witches know that hunters love luxury as much as they love nature. What does one do with such knowledge? You bewitch a wealthy businessman to start. Convince him to mix luxury with nature for profit. After that, go forth and put up flyers everywhere that they can go. Not just any flyers, but magic specifically to attract hunter descendants. It had been over 100 years since the last witch hunt. The last of the acting hunters were long dead, but their grand and great progeny still lived. Those were the targets. Denise was close to finding out the truth. Too close. What about the mother and father of Joel Reese? Were they awake when the leaves fell? Joel was not really the son of Mr. Reese. His real father was the great-great-grandson of a legendary witch hunter. Only Mrs. Reese knew the truth, and she kept it. As long as there are names on the vengeance list, more flyers will be hung up. More people will come, and more sleeping deaths will happen. Do you know why? It's because everyone sleeps when the leaves fall. The witches make sure of it.